I'm waking up to waking up to ash and dust. I wipe my brow and I sweat my rust. Breathing in the chemicals.
I am bowling.
I am bowling.
Won a lot of professional tournaments. We won a lot of tournaments worldwide. I mean, we won more in the last 10 years worldwide than any company. We make good bowling balls, and good players use our bowling balls because they can win with them.
Intense.
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 Having a characteristic quality in a high degree.
Existing or occurring in a high or extreme degree.
Screw the definition. Watch me.
Intensity to win 23 championships.
Liz Johnson's resume is very long and distinguished. She's the owner of 5 major championship victories.
Legend lives on. Liz Johnson has done it again.
The greatest women bowler on the planet today, and that's Kelly Kulick.
Intense. Existing or occurring in a high or extreme degree.
The greatest women bowler on the planet today, and that's Kelly Kulick.
Hi, my name is Kelly Kulick. I have been bowling for 34 years now, professional bowler since 2001. Through the Intense, and my first reaction is, when can I get this ball in my bag? I'm a numbers person, so I look at core, I look at cover, what the RG is, what the differential is, and to me, in comparison to other asymmetric bowling balls I've thrown, Intense bowling ball, it has a stronger engine, a stronger core, it picks up sooner, but with a lot more continuous motion. I am 100% confident the Intense will be in my bag. It's got great colors. I can see the colors as they migrate down the lane. And again, a pearlized asymmetric. I carry a minimum of at least 3 of them when I'm on the ladies tour. It's going to find multiple places for me. I feel it'll be great on the longer patterns, 42 feet plus. I tend to play closer to the head pin. Therefore, a pin-up asymmetric pearlized allows me to, again, use a lot of surface, but stay close to the head pin, retain energy, and give that subtle motion in the back portion towards the 1-3 pocket. I also see this bowling ball being on a medium condition as the lanes start to transition. But as we move inward, where I start and then I have to go further inside, they tend to be tighter. Therefore, I ball up, which would be a great ball to go to the Storm Intense, and I can still continue to play more left to right.
Intense, having a characteristic quality in a high degree. Hi, my name is Liz Johnson. I've been bowling for 38 years. I would say I would use the Storm Intense on a medium to long pattern. The ball seems to really roll a little bit heavier through the front part of the lane and has an archier back end. So probably anything from very long patterns to medium. I always keep the premier balls in my arsenal, especially when the back end's starting to tighten up and you really need something to really kick through the back part of the lane and really go through the pins and get that light hit 7-pin or 10-pin to carry. That's where I tend to have some issues, especially if I'm having to play a little further left on the lane, and I think these balls will be a very key component to keep in my bag.
Intense. Screw the definition, watch me. Hi, I'm Pete Weber. I'm very confident that the Intense is going to be part of my arsenal. Mirror balls roll a little bit quicker for me, so I could kind of lose a little bit of the back end. But with the Intense, what I've seen today is I'm not losing any of the back end out of it, and the ball's still going through the pins. So that's what's a key factor for me. We do use a lot more oil than what the house bowlers bowl on. You know, I'm looking right now at the medium to longer patterns that the Intense will pick up for me a little bit quicker and then read the mid lane for me. When they see the ball as Intense, they'll be going, oh, that's named for Pete, I bet.
Hi, my name is Kelly Kulik. I've had some experience throwing the Code Red this past year on the ladies' professional tour. For me, I was able to use it more to the right than I would normally use an asymmetric bowling ball. The Code Red was a little bit longer and a little bit more forward rolling at the end of the pattern. This new Storm Intense is much earlier than the Code Red. It has a bigger footprint in its cover with the R3S cover stock. Again, I'm always trying to control front to back, so if I can see the ball start slowing down sooner, I know the ball is utilizing its core or the engine of the bowling ball itself to work for me and with me. So with the Intense Storm bowling ball, I've seen a little bit earlier mid-lane pickup as well as continuation at the back end of it.
I'm Pete Weber. The Code Red, I've used it since it came out. Won my 100th title with that one in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I think that's one of the best balls we have. I can throw a pin down and still get it to rev up early. I can throw the pin up, get it down the lane, and it goes through the pins really good too. Intense. The ball was very clean through the front part of the lane, and it had a very strong mid-lane roll, and then gave me a lot of back end too. And then watching the ball go through the pins really helped me decide that, yeah, this ball is going to be part of my arsenal too. I think the Code Red rolls a little bit earlier and has a little bit heavier mid-lane roll than the Intense. So I think with it, when you have to start moving left, that you go to the Intense with whatever drilling you'd like, because I think it goes a little farther down the lane for me than the Code Red, where, like I said, the Code Red rolls a little earlier for me, and then the Intense goes a little longer down the lane for me. So.
Hi, I'm Liz Johnson. I've used the Code Red pretty much ever since the ball came out. It's clean, and it really picks up very hard in the mid lane and really drives through the pins. It's a really strong ball, and the Intense was coming off the spot a little sooner, and I can probably play a little further left if I need to. Seems very versatile, where I'll be able to use the Intense on something probably a little more fresh, medium to longer pattern. Being more of a straighter down and in player, the Intense is going to be very versatile.
Deandra Beatty. Welcome to Chicago. This is my home house. Today, I was throwing the Code Red. Besides being beautiful and red, it gives you the perfect break point a little bit earlier on the lane. Goes through the pocket so nice and so strong off the spot. I just got off of a PWBA stop in Detroit, and it definitely came out of my bag. I used it. There was a little bit more oil on the lane, and I needed my ball to read a little bit sooner, and it was the perfect choice when my Code Black was just going a little bit too long. It really matters how the ball goes through the pins. So if you watch your ball reaction and you watch how it goes through the pins, is it going through the pins and kind of deflecting, or is it actually continuing through the pins? And I know that my Code Red definitely continues through the pins when it hits the pocket. So if you're looking for a ball that reads the mid lane perfectly and is continuous through the pocket, check out the Code Red. I think you're gonna love it.
Hey Storm fans, AJ Johnson here in Chicago, Illinois at Diversity River Bowl. Getting some practice in before heading off to Oklahoma for the Oklahoma Open. Because I like the Code Black so much, I decided to drill the Code Red just to see what it would do, how it compares. The Code Black has been a staple in my bag ever since it came out. Practicing for a couple of days, I've seen that the Code Red, with it being a hybrid cover, it reads the lane a little sooner than the black. The Code Black, Code Red, these things are going to be staples in my bag.
Hey Storm Nation, I'm Steve Klemkin, and we're here with Del Ballard, you're a Pro Tour manager, and we're excited to demonstrate the new Code Black for you today. Now Del, you have a little bit of experience. I know you saw this ball go down the lanes in Japan, and also some of our international staff players when they came over and bowled the World Series of Bowling were using the Code Black. What have you been seeing out of the ball?
Well, Steve, the very first thing I noticed out of it is how it just kept on coming. A lot of time around the corner, a lot of times with guys that have high rev rates, the asymmetrical balls will kind of just quit. They'll slow down, get to the preferred spin axis, and just kind of slow down. Code Black just kept coming, so you never lost that entry angle going into the pins.
And that's for the high rev players, like you were saying, at the pro level, we definitely see that.
Yes, and for the lower guys who threw the ball a little straighter, you know what, just barely cracked the shell a little bit, make it start a little sooner, and just kept on coming. It allowed them to play about 3 to 4 or 5 boards deeper than they normally would, and the ball would keep coming through the pins.
A lot of hook on the back end. Let's go ahead and turn these lanes on. Let's throw some shots and show you what we're talking about. I think you could see going down the lane, I mean, there was a strong motion. We had 2 different balls, 2 different layouts. Both of them were the 5x5 layout, one with a pin above and one with the pin below. So that's the different pin buffers.
Out of the ball itself, the 5x5 layout is very versatile layout. You might go like a 4.5x5 if you're a little less revs, a little lower rev rate, but always keep that mass around 4.5 to 5 inches, and it really gets down the lane and wants to kick on the back, either pin up or pin down.
And I think when we're looking at, if somebody's kind of going through in their mind trying to decide, do they want to add the Code Black to their arsenal, I think the decision really is looking at, do they need a ball that's going to give them a little bit more hook down lane?
Yeah, a lot of times when you're dealing with solid covers or stronger asymmetrics and they get the mass a little closer to the axis, they have a problem with it quitting on the back. You can drill this ball up a little bit, just a little farther from the axis, and my gosh, it comes around the corner.
And that's one of the things I know when you're out there on tour working with the best players in the world, when you're looking at some of these layouts and trying to find out, exactly what kind of a motion you're going to get, you're trying to control the break point, trying to control entry angle, trying to control motion down lane. And that layout can be key in terms of them getting the look that they need in order to strike as much as they want to, right?
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes, a lot of times, too much back end's not good. But if you can control it when it hooks and when it starts by using a little bit of surface, it'll definitely give you the motion.
All right, Del. Well, hey, thanks a lot for being here. Appreciate it, Storm Nation. The Code Black, it's available November 22nd. Make sure you swing by and visit your Storm VIP Pro Shop and reserve yours today.
Every bowling ball is a sphere 8.5 inches in diameter. That's where the similarities end. While you've seen the difference on the lane, it's what you can't see that makes Storm the winningest ball on the Pro Tour. Intelligent weight block and interior core design can mean the difference between a great game and a perfect game. Storm has built a team of industry-leading engineers who also happen to be passionate bowlers to create the most technologically advanced bowling balls on the market. Using a series of unique and proprietary interior weight block designs, Storm weight blocks are designed with varied shapes and densities and perform differently depending on factors such as lane conditions and the bowler's tendencies and preferences. For example, some weight blocks are designed to create imbalance in the ball, producing more flare and ultimately more ball motion, allowing the bowler to hook and change direction more easily. Others have a lower center of gravity, producing a faster spin rate, akin to a figure skater twirling with arms tucked tight, a good choice for oily lanes. Those with a higher center of gravity allow the ball to rev up late, perfect for drier lanes and bowlers with lower ball speeds. An inside look at Storm's new Code Black ball reveals a unique core featuring the RAD4 design. This weight block's low center of gravity and radius of gyration, combined with its high imbalance across both the Y and Z axes, help the ball respond quickly to friction, producing more entry angle and less deflection. Think of a high-performance sports car that handles effortlessly and turns on a dime. So what does that mean for your game? Better pin carry and more strikes. Because the difference between a great game and a perfect game can depend on the smallest of variations. The advantage goes to those who do their homework and refuse to spare the details. It's true that not all bowling balls are created equal, so no matter how you bowl, Storm Bowling has a ball and a weight block that are perfect for you.
Timeless. Not affected by a passage of time. The first thing you're going to notice when you hold Timeless is this is a statement piece. Once your hands wrap around the ball, the cover stock, the R2S Hybrid, one of Storm's most successful cover stocks of all time, you're going to feel the tackiness, knowing that once that ball hits the lane, it's going to grab the friction at the exact moment it needs to give you the absolute perfect angle of entry into the pocket. The pins have no chance. And that performance is going to be seen time and time again every single time you throw this ball. This is why the ball is timeless. Storm created a new line called the Signature Series to fit Timeless in. No longer are we governed by RGs and differentials. Now we're governed by movement of the ball. The technology in Timeless is unprecedented, it's unique, it's innovative, it's industry leading. You're going to see the most powerful symmetrical weight blocks mixed with our most successful cover stock in history, all wrapped into one bowling ball.
When it comes to winning and losing, often the difference can be as subtle as who gets that extra hit, who breaks up that 210, who trips out the 2-pin, that way they have an easy spare. So when we're talking, for example, the Players' Championship, when we first released this ball, Belmo was able to do something quite amazing with it. If we watch many of his shots, they were all very, very light, but they shuffled the deck and they were able to give him the key strikes that strung together a victory for him. Now, of course, Belmo as an outstanding player generates more speed and power than the average bowler, but the thing about it, what makes this such a great ball, is it doesn't matter if you have less speed or less power, it's all about the law of probability. So if you're giving yourself even a 1 or 2% advantage in order to carry that extra hit, I guarantee you over the course of a game or a 9-game tournament block, that can be the difference between winning and losing when it comes down to 1 or 2 simple hits. The big reason the dual drive and its enhanced COR values and the unique shape of that outer core, the reason it is so powerful is because it's going to maximize every hit. And when we're looking at winning or losing, sometimes that's the only difference, is whether or not you get that one lucky break that gives you the momentum to win, or that clutch 10th frame that guarantees your victory.
Big loft. Big turn. Yes! Big win! Yes! Amazing.
Coming home a winner.
A little shaving cream. Well, never threw a flush strike. Didn't have to.
by far the better of it. Wins it 6-2.
Baseball just kind of came along, and you only get one shot at that. I got drafted in the 6th round by the Giants in 1983. You know, I had aspirations of being a professional bowler out of high school. That was what I wanted to do. It was funny when I went on the senior tour this year, a lot of people thought that I just picked the game up, you know, and I tried to tell them, hey, I've been doing this my whole life. Mark Roth was, you know, my hero. I tried to bowl like him, and I didn't quite get all those steps in. But I tried to, you know, crank it like we used to call it back then, and I've been crazy about it, you know, since I was a little kid. So I was very fortunate through my whole career not to be injured, and I think bowling had a lot to do with that. Not having to throw overhand, you know, like if I played tennis, that might be something that, you know, because you're going overhand all the time, but being able to throw underhand, you know, and bowl during the off season, it just kept that shoulder active and moving, but in a different motion. The parallels to me are trying to go through a motion and you know, an approach in baseball or in bowling, and your pitching motion in baseball, trying to do it the same way every time. I think those two things are very similar, and obviously you're looking at a target and trying to hit that target.
Hey Storm Nation, Chad McLean here to instruct you on the proper use and application of a brand new kinesiology tape that's unlike anything on the market today, the Storm GT tape. Storm GT tape provides support without limiting your range of motion. So during the development process, we focused on comfort, durability, and performance. GT stands for germanium and tourmanium, the two additives that are infused into the fabric of the tape itself. The germanium additive oxygenates the blood, resulting in improved recovery time. Tourmanium enhances blood circulation and actually decreases inflammation. Now, GT tape can be applied to minor injuries and pains across multiple anatomical conditions and areas, ranging from carpal tunnel to patellar tendonitis. With our pre-cut strip system, placement of the tape has never been easier. But before you apply GT tape, here are some tips for success. Wash the skin and make sure it's free of any oils or lotions. It's important to remember to stretch the skin and not the tape. To create an anchor, simply pull the tape at the point you wish it to tear and the paper will rip apart. Apply the tape at least 30 minutes before activity. Make sure the ends of the tape are applied directly to the skin and not on the tape itself. The heat generated by rubbing the tape activates the adhesive, ensuring a proper application. When you're ready to take off the tape, simply apply any lotion or coconut oil to emulsify the adhesive for easy removal. Well, Storm Nation, we're really excited for you to try this new product, and we can't wait to hear your successes with the brand new Storm GT tape. And as always, bowl up a storm.
My name is Danielle McEwen, and I'm a bowler. Bowling has taken me all over the world and opened my eyes to the wonder and beauty that it holds. If I have learned anything from travel, it's to be in the now. take in the experiences as they come, and live for the moment. The marvels we see today could be gone tomorrow.
So we made it to the Northern Lights, guys. That's all I gotta say. There it is, right there.
This is awesome.
It's about, what time? 2 in the morning?
Yeah.
Is it?
It's probably pretty close to
midnight.
No, we were in the house at midnight.
Oh, okay. I don't even know if this records and can hear audio. Can you hear audio?
You can hear audio.
Or we just look like mimes.
Right. Just dancing like that. I don't know how to
Hey,
take...
by the way, Danielle McEwen, first person ever to bowl under the Northern Lights.
In snow.
In snow.
At like 12 in the morning.
Possibly my last time bowling because I can't feel my hands.
I know. She flies back to bowl. No, you don't. You're going home, right? Anyways, it's a great shoot. I know we're going to continue on, possibly. I don't know. Mr. Paul Block, we're done. So that's a wrap. Here from Alaska. Thanks all.
Hey Storm Nation, I'm Steve Klemkin, and we're very fortunate to have Dan Higgins, one of our staff members, a recent USBC Open Championships champion. Congrats on that achievement and that title. For those of you who don't know Dan bowls a lot of tournaments. When you go to a center, you don't know exactly what you're going to encounter. So I know in some of our discussions you've talked about, really liking the variety across the product line of what you see.
Correct. Yeah, the variety is a key factor for me. You got to know. If you want to succeed at that top level, you got to know, and I think Storm's products is where they cover it better from top to bottom. That I know I don't have any subconscious decision, do I make the wrong ball choice or I didn't. I kind of know Storm has it filled in the gaps perfectly for almost any variety bowler to use.
So we've got a couple of Sherlocks punched up for you. Want to get you ready, get you throwing some down the lane, and then we'll get your feedback, all right?
Great, let's do this. I'm excited.
We smooth this cover stock up to 4,000. So we got a 5-inch pin to pap that's a shinier finish. We got a 6-inch pin to pap with the box finish. Woo! Yeah, a lot more motion down lane. Perfect. We had, two different Sherlocks there we had drilled for you. One had a smoother surface, one was a box finish. It looked like you were able to maybe adjust your angles and layouts and stuff.
Yeah, correct. The one pin down with a little bit more polish on it helps me move to the right a little bit more, get a straighter angle through the fronts for the continuation to the mid lane on the back. The one with the box surface, the higher up pin allows me to get in a little deeper, open the angle up a little bit, and still get the continuation off the break point down the lane.
And it was definitely a noticeable difference. I mean, it wasn't just like a board or two with your feet. You were really able to kind of separate your laydowns and your launch angles a little bit.
Yeah, correct. Probably within about 5 to 7 boards there. Yeah. I can change it, or even more depending on what you're trying to, how much angle you're really trying to open up.
And that's definitely what we saw. A lot of continuation, high-end premier line ball that's designed for heavier oil. If you're looking for a bowling ball that's going to pick up and read the mid lane and still give you that continuation on the back end, the Sherlock's going to be a great chase for you. Coming out on March 14th, make sure you stop by and visit your local Storm VIP Pro Shop and reserve yours today. Thanks, Storm Nation.
is Darren Tang. I've been bowling for 15 years. I'm from San Francisco. The original lock was your hybrid. Snap lock your pearl. You're going to get the sure lock here. It's going to be your solid, going to be the earliest out of the three. It's going to be the strongest from what I'm seeing. The sure lock is going to be the strongest ball in my bag. No question, going to be the earliest ball, most hook, hands down. And it's going to be something that you're going to want in your tournament bag. Sherlock hook. This is our first time here at Storm. Both of us, we drilled up the strongest pieces from both of our respective lines.
Went on a little striking competition to see who could get the ball to hook a little more, seeing as these are two of the strongest pieces on the market.
I hope you don't bowl the way you dress.
This ball describes you perfectly because you are surely locked into the 39 boards that are on the lane. For us here in Roto Grip Nation, there are no rules.
If you go beyond the 39 boards, you're gonna throw gutter balls, which you do pretty often.
Try knock your 10 pins down for once in your life.
Oh my God. I got nothing.
Yeah.
We are the coolest. We are the coolest.
The original phase, when we developed it, we had one real strong thought in mind. We wanted something that was smooth, something that was controllable, something that when it encountered friction, it didn't really jump. In the phase 2, we have a sanded solid. The additive in a solid, when it's sanded, creates very strong peaks, very strong spikes. So those displace oil. So essentially what we're doing is by making those really strong dynamic peaks in the TX16 cover, we're able to create something that reads dry, even drier. But the nice thing about it is you can now move in and you can play into heavier oil.
So I've watched Kyle Troop bowl for a very long time, and he's obviously two-handed, but his ball speed and his rev rate match each other, so that lets him play anywhere in the lane that he wants to. When you have a ball in his hands like the phase 2, with a slight hand position change, he's able to play awfully straight or swing the entire lane if he wants to. That lower RG high differential gives him that smooth, easy transition on the back end, but he's able to cover a lot of boards laterally with a ball like that.
The phase 2 would probably be one of my first balls out of my bag on many patterns, anywhere from medium to long patterns. Having the solid cover stock, such a strong core, but still being a symmetrical ball allows me to play the lanes a little bit further left. One of the big differences I noticed between the Phase and the Phase 2 was, with the Phase being a pearl cover stock, it sometimes would shoot through the break point for me, whereas the Phase 2, the solid cover stock, really grabs and reads the lane and continues all the way through the pins.
The original Phase, we really knew we were onto something with this particular additive, but we wanted a little bit more. We wanted something that would roll really well when we encountered heavier oil. So by taking it and doing a couple tweaks, putting it into a solid cover stock, and then sanding it, we created something really special. And that's where the TX comes from. It's the traction additive. So when we have a sanded solid in the Phase 2, we have something that is extremely strong and dynamic. And the reason we achieve that is the additive in a solid, when it's sanded, creates very strong peaks, very strong spikes. So those displace oil. So when you have a really strong oil displacement, you now have a ball that's able to read, say, 3 units, like on the outside of the lane where it's dry. It sees 6 units like it's 3. So essentially what we're doing is by making those really strong dynamic peaks in the TX16 cover, we're able to create something that reads dry even drier. But the nice thing about it is you can now move in and you can play in the heavier oil. So when you're able to change your angles a little bit, move in, you can create a very wide range to the pocket. When you're able to miss right and the ball reads the dry, arcs back in, or when you tug it in, you hit the heavy oil, it just glides straight to the pocket. Either way, you're really going to see the power and energy that's conveyed because of the TX16 cover stock. Chemistry is my real passion. So when looking at the TX16 cover, it's difficult in order to describe it differently in the fact that we're looking at a microplane. We're looking at something that by the naked eye still looks very smooth. But when we zoom in and we take a look at it very, very closely, that's where the magic is really happening, because we're able to create a different structure through the TX16 additive. And that's the point where we can see defined peaks, defined valleys, and extreme topography that's done on the chemical level. We want those defined peaks, those spikes, the studs that really grab into the lane, displace the oil, and create friction. And that's where you're going to see the biggest difference with the TX16 is in the fact that this ball knows how to displace oil. It knows how to generate friction. So we have a cool combination now of a ball that loves oil, solid, sanded, but can still generate stronger entry angles than we've ever seen out of a solid ball of this type of nature.
There's been a lot of research and study in our sport on ball motion. It's 100% fact. The most important component of a bowling ball is the cover stock. Hey everyone, I'm Storm Steve Klemkin, and we're here to talk about the snap lock. We're going to tell you a little bit of information about the cover stock. Now you're probably already familiar with R2S cover stock. That's a material that we used on the High Road, we used it on the Marvel Pearl. I mean, it's really going to be a legacy in bowling, that cover stock material. But for the snap lock, we went with the R3S. R is for reactor, 3rd generation Storm. So as we go through these different generations of cover stock materials, we take and adjust and refine them, reformulate them, and make them so they best match today's bowling environment. Once we have this cover stock material perfected, we have it exactly how we want it chemically, then what we have to do is get the right colors, so we have to choose the proper dyes, get the right micas, and make sure we get the right concentration and formulation as well too, that matches up with that Rad-X core. So it's all about matching that core and cover stock to get that exact ball motion we're looking for. And we've done it here. Once you throw the new snap lock and see this new cover stock material, you're going to know that it is 100% Storm material.
Hi, my name is Chad McLean. I'm the technical manager here at Storm, and today I'm going to be showing you some cool things about the new Snap Lock. When used properly, an asymmetrical ball can be your best friend, so it's very important to know your ball speed, rev rate, axis tilt, rotation, and of course your positive axis point when drilling such a dynamic ball like the Snap Lock. In a symmetrical ball, like the rocket ship, you are primarily concerned with numbers like the RGN differential. The differential is essentially the difference in the height versus the width of the core, the x-axis versus the y-axis. The bigger the difference, the more the core wobbles as it's traveling down the lane, creating more flare, which translates to more hook as it's trying to correct its own course. But in an asymmetrical part, like the Snap Lock, you have a tertiary core value to pay attention to, the intermediate differential. You now have an X, Y, and Z axis working in your favor. So, if you put a lengthier rolling layout on a rocket ship like a 6-inch pin to pat, your flare pattern is going to be really tight, as you can see here. But if you put the same layout on an asymmetrical ball, your flare pattern is going to remain fairly wide because of that intermediate differential. This allows you to use some layouts that might not otherwise work on your symmetrical balls, enabling you to get the length you want while still covering a lot of boards laterally.
That's when I really started trying to take this game serious and to the next level. Getting a chance to work with Hank, and he's a good guy, his family's good, and I mean, it's just amazing. You know, when you have someone that's taking their time out of their day, you know, when they can do anything in the world, but they want to coach you because they know you love the game. So I just thank everybody on Storm staff, and I'm glad to be a part of it. Bowling is a lot about balance, just like any other sport. And I just feel comfortable and balanced on that, on the same foot, same arm. I also had some knee injuries on the other leg that kind of tends me from holding strong on that leg sometimes. It's the detail from there. I try to be as detailed as possible to be the most consistent bowler I can be. Because I got to play with Peyton, focus on the dial and the detail of every play. It's the little things that help you win Super Bowls and championships. That's how bowling is. Bowling is definitely you versus the lane, you versus the pattern. And paying attention to the detail in bowling is just as tremendous as it is in football. Yeah, I'm passionate about bowling and just trying to better my game.
A lot of professional tournaments. We've won a lot of tournaments worldwide. I mean, we won more in the last 10 years worldwide than any company. We make good bowling balls, and good players use our bowling balls because they can win with them.
Hey there, Storm Nation. I'm Chad McLean here at the Storm Test Facility in Brigham City, Utah, and this is what I would like to call the Storm Power Glove. Now, it's a brand new product that I think a lot of people are going to be excited for because it completely changes the way your ball rotates down the lane. But to understand how it does that, we have to take a closer look at just how the glove is made. So a lot of the material is made from the same super tacky, lightweight material that our famous Extra Grip glove comes from. There's no slippage happening here. The thumb, middle, and ring finger are exposed, letting the bowler maintain the proper feel of the ball the way it was meant to be. But the unique thing about the Power Glove are the 3 interchangeable palm pads that fill up the space between the palm of the hand and the surface of the ball, essentially changing the way the ball sits in your hand and the way it comes off when you go to release it. All right, so our tester today is Matt. He's going to be throwing our Power Glove, and you may recognize him from the ball reaction section of our website. Now, he is a stroker, but when you notice when he puts on the Power Glove, his rotation is going to change completely. So the first couple shots without the glove, you can see that the ball doesn't have much on it. But as soon as he puts on the glove, his tilt lowers and his axis rotation increases. He has such a better roll throughout the entire part of the lane and through the pins. So this is one glove that I think Matt's going to enjoy using at League every week. All right, Storm Nation, the Power Glove is available today, so make sure to go to your local VIP Pro Shop and check it out.
Hey Storm Nation, this is Liz Johnson. If you like what you saw, click subscribe.
Some shoes on my feet. So mama, don't you look at me the wrong way. Hey, listen to me, baby. My papa called, said all you do is play. Well, I've been drinking all damn night and smoking all damn day. So Papa, don't you look at me the wrong way. Don't you look at me the wrong way.
Restrepo. I'm from Colombia and I've been bowling for 16 years. My eyes got really big when I saw this ball go down the lane. It's something that we were kind of missing on the line. It comes off the spot a lot stronger than what we have. I usually go from something strong to like my high wire, but the high wire sometimes gets too clean to where it starts squirting down the lane. This kind of flips harder, which is what I was missing.
The all-new Daredevil features the brand new Madcap core, measuring in at an RG value of 2.48 and a differential of 0.041. And on the outside of the new Daredevil, you will find the brand new Amped Pearl Reactive cover stop, coming out of the box at 1500 grit polished.
I'm really excited about it because I know when I need to open up and I need it to get off the spot, this is gonna be the right ball.
Today was my first day throwing the No Rules Pearl. Being a big fan of the original No Rules, this is definitely going to be something that I'm going to put in my bowling bag. When the No Rules kind of goes away a little bit, just seems to be a little too strong, the No Rules Pearl will fit into it really good. No Rules Pearl just gets down the lane a little bit. It's the same core, it's that chaotic core, just with the new amped Pearl cover stock. When you need to kind of just get a little bit further left and you need to have a little bit more change in direction down the lane, this No Rules Pearl is going to be the ball for you. When there's a little bit more definition on the lane, so more like games 4, 5, 6 into a block, absolutely this ball's going to come out and you're just be able to throw it right and just watch it bang off the friction, and you know it's going to go through the pins. When I threw it today, I struck almost every time. It was unbelievable.
The first thing that I thought of was it had that wow factor to it, and it has that unique color to it. So this ball in comparison to the original Daredevil, I would say this is more of that benchmark shape. It's definitely going to be one of the first things that's out of my bag. You know, the original Daredevil had its place for sure, more so in the transitional periods. But this one is, you know, something that I can certainly bring out, and now I know that I have that next step down with the original Daredevil, and I have the bigger step up here with the Daredevil trick. With me being a speed player, I need those balls to read the middle of the lane a little bit better than most others. So this is certainly something that helps blend out that front to back transition for me. I got to drill 2 of these so far, a pin up and a pin down. My axis is 5 over and 1 up. So far my favorite is the pin down. That's kind of been what I've been gearing towards lately anyways, and the reason why is because I've actually noticed that with the pin up stuff, they read a little bit quicker. So I've been geared towards the smoother continuous shape. This ball is probably a good 2 feet sooner than the original Daredevil, but it keeps going. It's smooth, it's continuous, and just doesn't stop.
My name is Rocio Restrepo. I've been bowling for 16 years and I'm from Colombia. The new hustles come in 2 colors, and they are the POW and the rig. The POW stands for pink, onyx, and white, and the rig stands for red, indigo, and gold. I actually been looking for something like this on some of those drier lane conditions. So I need stuff that gets through the front, but it also comes off the spot, because usually stuff gets through the front, but they don't come back. So I was surprised of how great they roll. I haven't seen that from an entry-level ball like that. Both Hazels have the new pump pearl cover stock. It's not overly aggressive, it's not something that you cannot control, but it's very predictable ball reaction going down the lane.